All right, hello everybody. It is Friday, May 1st, 2020. How are you guys doing? My name is Vanessa, and this is my very first floss tube. I'm 32 years old. I live in the greater New Orleans area, and I am married to my wife, Colleen, Coco, and we have two beautiful children, Des and Aiden. I guess a little bit about me first before we dive into cross stitching, which, by the way, hello, welcome. If you're stumbling across this video, this is my very first floss tube where I'm mainly going to be talking about cross stitching. I am a multi-crafter, so I sew, I quilt, I knit, I crochet, not necessarily in that order, diamond painting, pretty much you name it, I do it. As far as cross stitch goes, back in, if you see me looking down to the side, I did a little bit of notes so I stay on task. So December of 2016 is when I decided to dive into cross stitch, and I had a teeny tiny little kit that I picked up, I think at Michael's, and it was a little mermaid. I can't find it. I wish I could find it. But it was a little bitty mermaid, and I fell in love with cross stitch. It was perfect. It was tiny. So I bought another one of the little tiny kits. It was a cat with a yarn ball, but that was another, let's see, that wasn't until April 2016. So I started, 2017. So I picked up a kit in December of 2016, the end of 2016, loved it. Then there was about a 4-month gap, picked up another kit, loved it. And then 2 years go by. I got busy doing all sorts of other crafts, and I didn't pick up cross stitch again. Then I got a bug, and I was like, why did I put this down? I loved it so much. So I was on Etsy, and I was looking at charts on Etsy, fell in love with 3 little small charts that I wanted to put into one big one, which you'll see later in WIPs. So I picked that one and started that one in June of 2019, and then there was another 8-year gap where I started that project, put it down, got distracted until very recently. So until a month, let's see, I want to say a month ago, about a month ago. And then I just got caught by the stitching bug, and cross stitch has really been all I wanted to do lately. As you guys will see, I still do a bunch of sewing, quilting. I've been making a whole bunch of masks. So these ones right here are my smaller version. I have a small and large version. I wish I could show you the larger one, but the larger one is just a tiny bit longer and a little bit wider when it opens. These were my practice ones, so these do not have, I ordered the actual nose strips, but at the time they didn't have any. So these, this one is a twist tie, and I use stockinette. So it's really light, airy, breathable, comfortable. And as you guys see, they're super nice, super comfortable. They work really well. And this is my smaller size, and like I said, I have a slightly bigger size. So I've made like 80 something of these. And they will be going up probably on my Etsy shop at some point. That's for another floss tube. Right now I haven't decided if I'm going to be selling them. I've just been selling them locally to people. Oh yeah, and shameless plug, by the way, if you're wearing masks and you have to go somewhere, I sell Synergens. It doesn't come off. There's some shininess, obviously, because I have a little bit of gloss on top. But as far as the actual color goes, it's not going anywhere. If you guys are interested, there's a link in the drop down to order from me. But that's a shameless plug. Moving on. Okay, back to cross stitching. So, yeah, so that's basically how I got into cross stitching. So I guess that gets you to my finishes. I really wish that I could show you my finishes. So I guess that gets me into WIPs. These are the project bags that I have been busily making. I just went onto YouTube, searched up project bags, found one that I like. I'm not new to bag making. I made this, which is my everyday purse. I don't have my strap on it right now because I just have a key fob with keys that is also a wristlet. But it has a cell phone pocket, and then obviously the main pocket, and then it's got another zipper pocket on the inside. It's all faux leather vinyl. And Mormy now is the designer of this pattern. I'll link it down in the below, but this is the Victoria wristlet. And my name is Vanessa, and I love all things V. So anyway, with all that to say, I'm not new to bag sewing, so I knew I would be able to stitch up project bags really easily. This was the first one that I made with just whatever the heck I had laying around because, like I said, I sew all the time, and I was making masks out of this fun lemon print. And I'll show you these bags in more detail, but so it evolved from this one and it became these. So the basic difference is I've added this hanger loop, which I ordered on Amazon some like luggage tags so I can hang them on here, and some, what is this, zipper pulls to add to my bags. But the cool thing is that you can flip. So depending on how you're storing the bag, if you want to hang it front ways, or you can hang it this way, whichever way works. Do you like it look that way in the front? Would you rather hide it in the back? So I thought that was really cool. And then on the inside, I added a tab here as well so that you can put your floss, your scissors, whatever the heck, charms, whatever you want to put on there. So I've been busy making these, and you'll see why in a minute. So look. And I had just had my wife go pick me up a whole bunch of zippers because that was really the only thing I was missing was zippers. So I just kind of went with whatever zipper I thought would look best. So moving on, my oldest WIP, aka my third ever cross stitch pattern, I should say, because there's multiple of them, is by a pattern designer on Etsy, Mari Bori, and this is the Ava Cactus, which I absolutely love. Avocado. I keep forgetting I was going to put it over here. Absolutely love avocado. So when I saw and cactuses, I'll have to show you one of the shirts that I made for myself that I wear all the time. It has got cactus all over it. And I fell in love, and I thought it was so sweet. So I got this one. And these were all separate patterns that, like I said, I'm kind of morphing into one pattern. And here's a mock-up of, it's stitched as a little pillow. Here's the patterns. Okay. An avocado, which I love. I don't know if it's better for me to be in the sun. Okay, I think this is better. Avocado. And y'all have to bear with me, you guys. I will get better at this, I promise. And then the piece de resistance, the avocorn. I die, you guys. Can I hold all of these up at one time? Oh, they're so sweet. I love them so much. So, at the time, I was working full-time, as I think most of us were, and I thought I was embroidering. I was an embroiderist for a t-shirt company. So I thought, how perfect would this be to cross-stitch and hang it up in my area? And I wanted to put them all on one. So I got 14-count Aida. Like I said, I was new. I didn't know anything about cross-stitch, and I was teaching myself through YouTube because do millennials learn any other way nowadays? I don't feel like it. So I did the math, and I want to say I I honestly can't remember now. I didn't write it down. Now I'm organized and planned, and I do, but I can't remember how much room I was going to leave myself, but I'm only here. So I want to say, here you go. This is true to color. So right here, I had run out of my dark green floss, and I'm just doing DMC. Like I said, I didn't know anything about cross stitch really, except for I had gotten kit, so this was the first time of kitting it up on my own. For my first two projects, they were so small, they were just done in hand. I didn't even use a hoop. This was the first time I purchased a hoop, and it's orange, which is my favorite color, by the way. And if you hear noises in the background, obviously my kids are home doing chores and whatnot. All right, so this is the cute little avicorn. And you guys, I will say that for my first project, I've learned so much in the last month and a half, and I know, or month, however long it's been, and I know that I'm going to learn even so much more, but I'm really proud that, like, for my very first my first project, it really doesn't look bad. It really doesn't. I can tell that something was up right here because you can see the obvious difference. I don't know if y'all can see, but anyway, there's an obvious difference in stitches. So I don't know if that was a tension thing. They're all going the same way, which is nice. But yeah, super pleased, backstitch, everything. So I have this big old long, and this Ada is just from Joann's. I also worked part-time at Joann's, so it was easy for me to just scoop and pick everything up. So I'm very excited. This is my oldest WIP, and like I said, I am going to be putting them on. So the really funny thing is, because I didn't know anything about cross stitch, I was cutting my lengths. I don't remember if I read something or if an example told me, but I had kept all my flosses in little bitty snack bags, which oddly enough is funny because a lot of people use floss bags or snack bags to store their floss. So that was cool. But I just held the DMC and then just cut at one end. So the entire length is just, it's so small, you guys. And I've learned so much, and I prefer the loop start method now. So I'm using super long lengths of thread. So I think to make sure that these all get used up, because I don't want to waste any of my floss, I think I'm going to turn all of these into tassels for my project bags to come, I think, or key fobs or whatever. But so that, yeah, it's just funny, my first project versus where I am now. So that is my oldest and my first WIP, is what I'm calling the avocado trio. So June 29th, 2019 is when I started the avocado trio, was doing it, then got distracted. And then somewhere in March of this year, so pretty much pandemonium time, I discovered floss tube because I was really, really, really into diamond painting. And two floss tubers are also diamond tubers. And they are Rachel Gray and Amy. And so I was watching both of their channels for diamond painting stuff and got persuaded to pick back up into cross stitch, and just got lost and lovingly dove headfirst into floss tube. And you guys are so inspiring, so amazing, so terrible for my bank account. Because I just wanted to do and stitch and make all of everything. But I'm pretty sure that Rachel Ray was the one that first talked about the Letters to Hogwarts Harry Potter SAL by Cunning Cross Stitch. It is a free SAL, and I started this SAL March 10th, but the actual frame for the SAL came out in September of 2019, and then the first chapter released in January, the second chapter released this month or last month, And then the third chapter just dropped today. Yeah, and most of everything you guys see is technically haul because I had nothing except what was in this bag without this bag before a month ago. Yeah, I've gone a little crazy and I don't feel bad about it. So, I also made this grime guard, if you guys can tell. Hello, I made it to match my purse. I'm obsessed with orange. It's my favorite color. So, yes. And this is a 11 by 8 Q-snap. And this is where I am. So, all of this completes chapter 1. All of these parchment papers, that was part of the intro, the frame. But I didn't get very far. There's a little owl over here that I've done. I've done one swirl. I've done a couple of the parchments edges. And now I've literally almost finished chapter 1, you guys. If you can tell, here's my needle. If you can tell, I'm just doing the very last back stitching down this row. So as you guys can see the back stitching that I did here. And I'm absolutely in love with this pattern. But you guys, it is huge. Again, this was my 4th ever cross stitch project. So it is on 14 count oatmeal Aida from Joann's. All the DMCs are from Joann's. And I didn't know any better, and it was my very first sale. So when they released the Floss list, so this is really cool. Let me back up. This is actually a choose your own adventure style, which is even cooler. So if you guys read the books, the choose your own adventure books, it's so similar to that. It's so well done. It's amazing that it's free, to be honest with you. So I wanted to make sure I had all of the flosses so I didn't have to go run out and get it. I just had it on hand. Plus, I'm brand new to cross stitching. It's not like I'm not going to use a DMC if I got it. So there was a whole bunch of DMC to go with this. But I'm absolutely loving it. I'm actually making it for my daughter. She's Team Slytherin. So I am having her choose the adventures as they come. This chapter has been released, and it's your position on a Quidditch team. And they just released the 3rd one, and there's so many amazing options, but she chose hers. She wants to do divinations as her choice. Yeah, and so obviously I'm now, of course, figuring out what needle minders were. I didn't know what they were. The one that I had with my avocado trio was just one that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. They're not very strong. These I got at my LNS. Give me 1 second, I'll talk about my LNS, because at this point I hadn't found it yet when I first started this. So, yeah, I'm loving it. I know there's a Facebook group that you can join, and it's really amazing because not only does the designer let you have freedom on there, people have created their own versions of what he has put out there, and he lets people put it on there so you can pick and choose if you like stuff. There's so many amazing things. If you're a Harry Potter fan, do it. The only thing that I would say I would do differently, if I knew what I knew now, I would put it on smaller Aida, because can y'all see this? It is so big. So this whole thing, just wait until I take it out of the Q-snap. Probably next floss tube to show you the whole thing, because I'm hoping to get this part done. But it's big. It's super big. But that's the only thing I would change. I absolutely love it. Okay, so now on to the next, like I was talking about. So Rachel, Ray, and Amy. And it just so happens too that Amy is also doing that Sal too. So then I was like, well, Sal's are super fun. I love them. There's kind of this urge to pick it up. You're part of a community. I don't have any stitching friends in real life yet, or really online. Part of the reason why I'm reaching out to you guys is that I've been on different groups now, and I've been kind of picking around, but I haven't really thrown myself out there. So feel free to say hi. Maybe we can talk about stitching. I would love to talk about stitching, and I'm sure my wife would love for me to find someone to talk about stitching because it does not interest her at all. So anyway, I digress. Amy was showing the Witchy Stitchers chopping mall sal, and I fell in love, you guys. I fell in love. So that is my third WIP, 5th ever cross stitch project. And I will say I went kind of gung-ho, balls to the wall. I was trying to cheat the system because I kept hearing people talk about that they stitched on linen, and I didn't really, I mean, I knew people were talking about counts. So I was like, well, you know, I know Joann's inside out, backwards and forwards. What if I just go to the remnant bin and I buy linen there? And so I bought linen. The only problem was I hand dyed it, and it became itty bitty. I mean, it's probably like a 55 count. So as of right now, the me of right now cannot stitch on that. First of all, not for my first time linen, not when I dyed it a really dark gray. No, but I will say the dyeing process came out great because, as you guys know, I love to DIY. I love to do all the things, and I started diving into, ooh, look at these beautiful fabrics online. I could do that. So when I figured out that my fabric didn't work was right about the time that I discovered that I had an LNS. And it was right before shutdown. It was right when there was like whispers of like there's probably going to be a shutdown. So I went to my LNS 3 times in that week. It's the most amazing LNS. If you live in the New Orleans area, it's Accent in Stitches. They are so amazing. I absolutely love them. I feel like I might be single-handedly trying to keep them going during this time. So I went in, I explained kind of what I was looking for in fabric, I brought the one I dyed, and we found this 16 count Ada in the colorway Haunting, and I honestly don't remember the producer, the manufacturer, but it is so beautiful. And let me fold this a little bit. This is how big it is. Where I am. Did I fold it too far? Okay. So, I forget. I gotta put it over here for you guys. I'm gonna get better at this. I promise. Oh my goodness, you guys. So amazing. I have fallen in love in that short time period that I've become a crazy avid cross stitcher. I love 16 count Ada. Love 16 count Ada. This, as of right now, is my go-to. I did purchase, as you'll see, some 18 count too to see if that's also my jam. I did, because of the fabric choice that I chose, again, let me back up a little bit. I did decide to go in and backstitch everything. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do that now. Let me move you guys forward. Okay. I did backstitch everything, which is not called for in the actual pattern, but I felt like it lended it to this, and I don't understand why people complain about backstitch. I like it. I am using all of the called for, so there's a toile in here. I never bought a toile before. I bought fabric thread conditioner. I bought different needles. Like I'm becoming a real stitcher. And that's not to say that you guys have to buy all that stuff. It's just I went a little crazy. And to show you guys, I forgot to show you. So I decided to do the bobbinating route. I also didn't know about floss drops or floss cards or anything like that. Obviously, I also discovered Q-snap. You know what, you guys? I lied. I totally lied. this is not Haunted. Haunted is coming up. I wanted to dye this again because I dyed the other one. So this I bought, it was just 16 count white, no name brand, Ada from my LNS, and I dyed this, my bad. And I used the charcoal rig dye, and I did the, I just YouTubed it, you guys can YouTube it, but I dumped the whole fabric in a wash of, a lighter wash of the color. Then I scrumpled it all up into a smaller container, made the color stronger, poured that on top, waited 30 minutes, rinsed it out, washed and dried it, and boom, shaka blam. I have beautiful fabric. So I'm so sorry. I forgot to tell you. I dyed this one. Oh, you guys, you would think. And luckily my LNS was really sweet because I knew I was going to forget after I dyed it, but they wrote 16 count on here so I wouldn't forget. So I thought that was really sweet. This is how I've been storing the Letters from Hogwarts Sal and the Chopping Mall Sal. Each one of them has their own. So this is my Harry Potter one. So this is literally every single floss that you need for the entire project. I have extra, I only have one bobinated, so the goal, or what I was thinking, is that over all these projects, I would like to have to collect every single DMC. So I'm only keeping one bobinated color at a time and just keeping spares, and I will rebobinate as I go. And I just got the DMC. I really like this art bin, by the way, with these. It's easier than this one, which doesn't have the clippers, but whatever. So I just bought the little sticker set that DMC has. Oi, focus, people. Can you, there we go. The little sticker set. And it's really cool because it's an easy way for me to know if I have that color. So when I go to kit things, I just look on my sticker sheet, and if the sticker's missing, I have this somewhere. I'm now getting more organized to where I know what floss is where, but that's what I was doing in the very beginning. And then again, I bought Thread Magic, which if you guys are doing a toile, I highly, highly, highly recommend this because it made it like butter. Like butter. And I'm excited because I haven't used this yet, but this is going to be the wand portion. This is the Diamant thread metallic version. So yeah, this is my Letters to Hogwarts. All of this part is my Chopping Mall. Not this. I had tried to grid. Like I said, I sew, so I had this metallic thread from my, I do embroidery. So I had tried to grid and figured out really quickly that I didn't need to with Ada. And then I've thrown some extra flosses for projects that I have coming up that I haven't organized yet. That brings us into really, really recently. I, again, was enjoying stitching. Sorry you guys, my chair is eating my dress. I was just really enjoying Floss Tube. I was enjoying stitching on those. I'm one of those people so far in my journey, which has been a very short one, that enjoys more monogamous stitching. So I learned really quickly that I wasn't going to, as of right now, be that person that stitches on this one day, stitches on this another day. So the project, the kind of way that I've progressed is that I pretty much stitch on one thing for a week at a time, and then I switch out. It keeps me motivated. I see large amounts of progress, and then I almost don't want to put it away at the end of the week. And then I find that I'm like, oh, do I want to put it away? But then I start stitching on the other project, and it's renewed. So it keeps my energy up and my interest, I guess, versus just doing a couple stitches here, a couple stitches there, and not seeing progress. But that might change because of Maynia, but you'll see what's coming up. Anyway, the point of all that was I didn't want to stop there because they were sales, and I knew there was going to be a point in the near future that I was going to get to a point where they hadn't released one, right? And then what I was going to cross stitch on, that would be a travesty to not have something to cross stitch on. So everybody kept talking about Mirabilias and Nora Corbett's, right? I mean, I feel like everybody owns one or wants to, or at least knows about them. So I had done my research and I had found one that I really, really wanted to do. But I was really wanting to do it on linen, and I have never stitched on linen, and I know that it's different. So I decided when I was at my LNS to go through the Mirabilia Nora Corbett section, and I was able to find this smaller fairy, which brings me to, let's see, what are we on? WIP number 1, 2, 3, 4. WIP number 4, project number 6. Isn't she beautiful? Is it focusing, you guys? Of course, I would pick this time. Now I know how to sit here during this time. But I think she's absolutely beautiful. She's a lot smaller than the Mirabilia that I have my heart set on, which I'll show you guys in haul. So, and again, oranges, you guys know, I love it. So I went ahead and I kitted this up at my LNS, and I couldn't wait. I came home that day and I started it. Oh, I also bought this, which we'll talk about this in a minute, but I bought this stand, and I had this put on it, and I would sit outside and I would stitch, and I did about 2 days of stitching, and then I put it down because as of right now, I don't like linen. It's so confusing. When I've been doing Ada, I have been able to jump all over the board. I can go way over here. I can stitch way over here. I don't have to stay in a central area because the squares are laid out for you. You don't have to do any thinking. I watch video after video, and I get it now. It's just a totally different brainwave that I need to put myself on. This is 32 count linen in Haunted. And it's beautiful, you guys. This fabric, this linen, stunning. Teal and orange are my absolute favorite color combination. Remember the teal and the orange. So I knew I wanted to put it on a teal. Oh yeah, did I even tell you the name? It's Miss Ginkgo. I don't remember if I told you the name of the pattern, but this is Miss Ginkgo. And I love this fabric, and I'm so glad I decided to go with something small, because obviously she's just going to fit right here in the center. But this was my very first true center start. I have to totally rethink how I stitch. I'm going to show you guys this because I want to document. This whole purpose is to document my progression into being a stitcher. And this is rough, y'all. When I took this out of the bag to start getting ready to film for you guys, because like I said, I put this aside because I was like, me and linen, we don't get along. I need to get better. These stitches are terrible, you guys. Help me. Help me. They're terrible. There's her little hands. Ugh. I have, though, since also learned that people do skin 1/1, which I was so confused because I was like, how did you 1/1 and not affect the size of the I get it now. I watched videos. So I think that I might do that, but I also stitch totally differently now, a few weeks later, than I did then. I'm very particular with how my stitches look now. I have gotten the flow of how I like to stitch, where I want, like, I learned, okay, the biggest thing that I learned is that I was the type of stitcher where I stitch bottom left up to top right, bottom right up to top left. That's how I had been stitching everything. I was watching somebody, what's her name? And I will put it in the description or try to put it somewhere. in the description, that she has like a beginner, like how to begin cross stitch. And she talks about like how to do stitches, how she moves, linen, Aida, all that. And she was talking about how, you know, you can also go from the top down and keep your X's the right way. Y'all, that never occurred to me, that I could go like top down. So, you know, if I'm going in a diagonal and I end up here and I want to travel up, I can just start at the top and come down. Enjoying learning all the things, being a noob. Anyway, so right now, linen, I'm going to tear all these out. So even though this is WIP, I'm going to tear all these out. I think I'm going to try to do 1/1. Re-look at linen and re-practice on linen now that I have learned and done more research, basically. So I'm excited because this is going to be absolutely beautiful. My last and final WIP is this pretty bad boy right here. So I jumped on the train because I've been jumping on the train. That's what I've been doing, just diving into everything. It's a Haid. So ready for this. It's called Outer Frontier, and I'm obsessed. Oh my gosh, you guys. She's so beautiful. I love all of it. All of it. I love it. So, when I was learning how to do Haids, obviously I downloaded Pattern Keeper, which is what I've put this into. I went out and, of course, there's 101 million flosses, but I ran across, what's her name? Portia Parcher? I hope I'm not butchering your name. On YouTube, and she introduced me to a concept called ECC, or Extreme Cross Country, which is essentially, I'm sure you guys already know if you're watching me, but you just take one color and you do that one color over the entire canvas, and then you do it again and again and again. I am loving it. Oh my gosh, you guys, absolutely loving it. I'm doing this on 28 count easy grid, which is great because it was already gridded, which is making this 1,000 times easier. And I chose to pick the color that had the most stitches to do first. There are a few stitches up here and down, and this is actually where I learned. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I'm doing 2 threads over 2 threads over 1 10th stitch for this one. All my other projects have been 2 threads over 1 on Aida. Do you say over 1 if it's Aida? Either way, 2 threads over 1 on everything except this is 10th stitch, which is obviously a new thing that I'm trying as well. But I think the coverage is really great. I know you can't. This is part of the like spaceshipy thing that's coming. But I've really enjoyed it. Portia had really great tips, and on Pattern Keeper, it's just really awesome. And I think it was fun because that was the first time that I got to really figure out how many stitches I was doing, because I wasn't bothering to count any of those. Pattern Keeper does that for you, so it was kind of cool to know how much. And like I said, I dedicated a whole week just to this, just to that. I mean, a couple of them now. And I absolutely love it. I also love that I have so many different types of projects. So I have 14 count Aida, 16 count Aida, 10th stitch. I have cells. I have linen. I love that I have all these different options to do. So with all that, that wraps up my WIPs as of today, March 1st. So up until now, what I've done is I have that spinning app where it's a wheel and you put things in. So that's how I've been choosing, or how I've been choosing for the last 3 weeks. I guess it's been 2 months, because I joined Semi-Sane Stitchers after all of you FlossTuber enablers made me want to do it. And they had what was called choose my WIP, pick my WIP, something like that. Basically, I posted a photo of 2 or 3 WIPs. People got to vote on it, and whichever one won, that was the one I had to focus on for the week. Now, they're a little bit more loose. They just want you to do, they just want you to do 500 stitches. I love that idea. I absolutely loved the idea, which is why I was basically doing that anyway, just pretty much monogamously stitching on one thing for a longer period of time and then moving on. So now that's what I do. I put things into, because that's over now, that program, but I put things in a wheel, spin the wheel, and this week I am working on Letters to Hogwarts, which is actually its 3rd week because it won twice in Pick My WIP, and then it won again this week. Now, it's going to change a little bit because I am deciding to participate in Maynia, because if you're on FlossTube, you can't not know what Maynia is at this point because that's all anybody is talking about and all the 100 million ways to do it and who started it. I'm brand new. I can't teach you. Go to another FlossTuber to teach you, but this is how I've decided to interpret Maynia. I chose to use it as an excuse to buy a whole bunch of things and start a whole bunch of things, but I didn't want to overwhelm myself. I didn't want to completely change the way. I know that's kind of the point. You were supposed to do things differently than you did, but with being a new stitcher, I'm just finding my flow. So I don't really think that would be conducive. I think it would just make me not want to stitch. So what I'm doing is I created another wheel, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 fully kitted, ready to go kits, projects that I've put on a wheel. Every Saturday of this month, so that gives me 5 Saturdays, so tomorrow will be my first. I'm going to spin the wheel, and whatever that lands on, that's going to be my start. So, oh, by the way, I spin my WIP of the week wheel on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, I will spin my WIP of the wheel like I always do every week. And then instead of stitching on it for the whole week, I will stitch from Wednesday to Friday, to Saturday. And then Saturday, I will spin the wheel. So Wednesday to Friday, and then spin the wheel. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I will get to stitch either my WIP of the week or my new start. So I'll kind of have half the week where I could choose between the two. And I'm going to see how I like that for me. Obviously, I have 6 kits and only 5 weekends. But I thought that'd be kind of fun with the wheel to figure out. That way I'm not just at the end of the week and I'm like, the end of the month, and I'm like, well, I guess this is the one to stitch. There's still this kind of suspense and game because I've been really enjoying that. Now, with all that to say, on top of all of that, I loved the Pick Your WIP from Semi-Sane Stitchers so much. They had another game going on, which was WIP Whammy, and that started today. And what that is, you can go and see, you can go and join, but basically you have to answer questions and it figures out spins and this, that, and the other. It just so happened that I was able to get 3 spins, and out of those 3 spins, I have to stitch 770 stitches in order to get my spins for tomorrow, or the option to get spins for tomorrow. So on top of having a new start and Maynia and getting my flow, I have this added encouragement, and I'm just really, really, really loving it. I'm having so much fun. So let me know. What are you guys doing for Maynia? Are you guys doing WIP Whammy? Let me know, because you never know. Say hi to me. I might throw a spin your way. Oh, one more thing before I show you the projects that I could be doing for Maynia. I was struggling with, okay, I'm just now starting to really get into this, and I want to keep track of what I'm stitching, when I'm stitching, why I'm stitching it, all that. So I have been in the past a bullet journalist. So I was thinking about that, but to be honest with you, that takes so much time, and I'm really just wanting to dedicate most of my time to cross stitch. So I came across a floss tuber, and her name is Teresa Little Stitcher, and it was just, I want to say 2 days ago, she released that she came out with digital cross-stitch planners. You guys. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It was exactly what I wanted when I was wanting it. I figured out, I had to do a little bit of research because I'm not an Apple owner. I have a Galaxy. And I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek, but I'm going to link it down below because I'm telling you, you're going to want to go out and get it. I'm absolutely loving it. I've spent too much time focusing on it. And I'm not going to give you like the whole kit and caboodle because she does a really good job of explaining it. But I will show a lot of people who are wondering, how was it different on not having GoodNotes, which is what most people with Apple use. Okay, you guys. So this is the planner. How amazing. And this is in Xodo, Xodo. That is the PDF program that I'm using for it. And you swipe. And of course, I added my name. And these are templates for blanks. I added another one. That's why it was there. And then it gets you into January. There's a whole bunch, you guys, of things you can do. So over here, it has all of your months. And for every month, you have a main calendar page. You can go and map out different, how's my stitching doing this month pages. They have WIP trackers for the month, all sorts of things. And then they have your dailies. It's all linked, all amazing. But let me show you this part. Come on. Okay, up here at the top. She has projects, planning, stash, goals, finance, floss tube, and stickers. I added this tab, templates, and yes, I am very aware that it is spelled wrong, but you guys have no idea how long it took me to link and put that into every single page. I'm not redoing it. It's not happening. So it's just going to live misspelled. But this is amazing, you guys. I've been able to use this. It's digital. You can link stuff. I have all of my PDFs linked into this planner. It's the most amazing thing. Run to Etsy. Go and buy it. You need it. No, I'm not sponsored. Oh, and I found out, so she has stickers, right? I had found out that when you click the tab, when you click the tabs, they just go. It's the most amazing thing. Like, here's my style tracker filled out, just in case you guys wanted to see what it looked like filled out. You can draw on it, you can write on it. It's the most amazing thing. But I found out that in an Android, she just had a sticker sheet, and it didn't work with this program, and I had messaged her about it, and she was able to send me a zip file, and now the stickers work perfectly, you guys, and I can put them anywhere. It's seriously the best thing that's ever happened to me, especially right now during Maynia, or in general, now that I've started FlossTube, I have a way to track things, and I absolutely love it. So, shout out, Teresa Little Stitcher. Thank you so much. It's been amazing. Okay, now, on to Maynia, potential Maynia starts. And you get to see all the fun project bags. This is why I obviously went out and was like, I need to make project bags. I'm about to have way more WIPs than 4 because this one doesn't get a project bag. Oh yeah, and when you ECC, you only have to buy 1 color at a time. It's amazing. Okay, so in this beautiful white and purple and blue bag. Oh yeah, and I lined all of them with white so that I didn't have any crap, because people were saying that it could rub off. No ma'am. I'm so excited about this project. Okay, wait, a little backstory before I show you this project. I went to my LNS originally because I wanted Quilting Bee by Little Blue Flower. You guys, I quilt. I fell in love with that pattern. They just sold it to somebody, so they ordered it for me. It's coming. But I was like, oh no, so I got something else. That was on my wish list, and they had. I told you guys I live in the New Orleans area. And so I got my very first ink circles, and it is, let me see if I do it this way. Okay, Reflections New Orleans. Can you guys see the masks and the crawfish, the fleur-de-lis? There's jazz instruments. There's more in there. It's stunning. and I really am attracted to more modern cross stitch. So this kind of motif I'm really into doing. I've never done anything like it before. I can't wait, you guys. I'm so excited. So I picked up also my very first Picture This Plus in 16 count flapper. You guys, it's beautiful. And then the 2 model stitches were done with Fancy Floss variegated thread. And as you guys know from all my stuff, I have not dove into that world yet. So I did. Are you guys ready? I got Threadworks, and it is not silk, you guys. Threadworks just came out with cotton variegated in the colorway Mardi Gras Shut the Front Door. Fun fact, I am a February baby, which means my birthday normally falls right around Mardi Gras. It is my favorite holiday. My wife and I share a birthday. Also, fun fact, we're birthday babies. And I just doing a New Orleans piece in a Mardi Gras colorway on this beautiful purple it's going to be the most amazing thing ever, and I can't wait. I can't wait. And I'm super glad that they had cotton because silks are expensive. Could we not with the sun? Okay, thank you. It's so beautiful, you guys. And then somebody put in the doodly down there, the doodly-doo. Is this the dye lot? So because I'm going to need more. Luckily, my LNS said it shouldn't be an issue with dye lot because this is a brand new colorway, so there should be a bunch, but I think I'm going to need at least 2 more skeins, if not 3. So if you guys could let me know. I mean, I can ask my LNS, but while I'm here, let me know. But I'm so excited, you guys. So excited. Oh, so many firsts. So many firsts. I absolutely love it. Okay. And so I thought it was fitting to put that in a purple bag. Oh, and one more thing. The needle minder world. So I'm learning, there's pattern hoarding, there's fabric hoarding, there's DMC hoarding, there's Fancy Floss hoarding, and there's needle minder hoarding. So I couldn't do a Mardi Gras. Wait for the sun. Wait for the sun. We're going to move more this way. Okay. I couldn't do a Mardi Gras pattern without a Mardi Gras needle minder, you guys. This lady, human person, I don't know. Mag Friends Accoutrement Designs. These are the most amazing needle minders that I've so far gotten my hands on, but they're super expensive. But they're super amazing. Yeah, so I'm feeding into all of my hoarding needs. So that's my first potential one. Ink Circles, Reflections, New Orleans. Cannot wait. So excited. All right, now let's see what's in this one. So if you guys can see, I didn't want a whole bunch of bags that were the same because that would have been so freaking confusing. So since I had extra, I just kind of reversed a whole bunch of them. And then, of course, added different ribbons. So in future floss tubes, I'm going to show you guys. Sorry about my dogs. I got given a whole bunch of old cross-stitch stuff from 2 different people. Shout out Diane and Liz. Thank you guys so much. They found out I was into it way back and gave me a whole bunch of stuff they didn't want anymore. And I honestly forgot I had it. And then I was going through stuff, found it, and I don't know why, because I've never been into sampler type primitive cross-stitching as of yet. It's just not something that has crossed my path. But I was going through all the stuff that I got given, and I'm going to show you guys a haul on that at some point. And I don't know. I kind of blame, who was it? Michelle Bendy Stitchy was showing me all sorts of stuff, and she kept talking about fancy turkeys and funky trees and funky things. I blame you, Michelle, for making me want to do this. So I'm going to do my very, very, very first sampler. It is called the Plantation Sampler by Canterbury Designs. It is copyright 1987, so a year before I was born, by Donna Vermillion Gimpa. And at the time, which I think is really funny, so it was bought at my LNS way back in the day, which I think is really, really cool. But let me show you guys, okay, because you guys are not even ready. This is the coolest. First of all, that's the best tree I've ever seen. The house, hello, and my daughter said her favorite thing is look at the noodle arms on the horse. Also, there's a black sheep. I'm the black sheep. I don't know. Now, I don't really love the colors on this, the linen they chose. I don't know why, you guys. I don't know why this spoke to me, but it literally jumped out of the stuff that was given and said, guess what? You're going to jump on the sampler bandwagon and you're going to freaking love it. Hello. So I gave in and I bought the most expensive piece of fabric to date. And remember I said I didn't like stitching on linen or I wasn't liking it? Apparently future Vanessa thinks that I'm going to absolutely love it. So I splurged and I picked up Weeks Dye Works 32 count platinum linen. Okay. I knew for a fact I wasn't going to want to do more of a yellowy antique-y look because it really doesn't fit with my aesthetic. And I really didn't like, you cannot see in this sampler the lettering on this linen. So we decided, we as in my LNS helped me decide on this platinum because look at all of these beautiful colors. Oh my goodness. I have abominated mainly because I ordered a whole bunch of floss cards, which I think is what I'm going to start veering towards. But I think also why this pattern super screamed to me. Can we talk about the amazing amount of teal in this pattern? It's mainly teal, and I'm living for it. And I think that it's going to be stunning on this gray. I love it. I don't know why I love it. It's nothing like I've ever thought I would love. But you know what? Sometimes I'm learning that projects choose you. And I'm really hoping that... I love linen. I'm hoping. I'm trying all the things. Dipping the toes. All the things. Okay. Moving on. Okay. So, as y'all know, orange, my favorite color. Oh my goodness. I love it. I'm not tooting my own horns, but I love my bags. See, here we go. Here's a perfect example. More fancy floss, y'all. I went crazy. So this is a good example of how you can store with these bags. So I'm just letting y'all know right now. Classic Colorworks Lobster Claw is now my absolute favorite floss of all time. Shout out to my LNS because we had to do this over the phone, obviously because I can't go in there, and she nailed it, y'all. She nailed this color. So, what am I stitching with that beautiful color, you ask? Was it again Michelle Bendy? Yeah, it was Michelle Bendy Stitches. I blame her. She was going through and showing me all her potential, or not just me, obviously everyone, what she was thinking about doing for Maynia. And she held up the primitive, wait, I don't want to get this wrong. Primitive Tarot Notions Needlebook by Wild Violet. You guys, hers is so cool. I loved it. And I was like, that's what I'm missing in my collection of projects. I don't have something that I can turn into something. And I'm a seamstress. That's what I do. So I was like, I need that immediately. I'm pulling it up for you guys. It's going to be kind of hard to show you because it's not a great photo, to be honest with you. But that's what the inside, I don't think that's what I'm going to do on the inside, and neither is she. I might copy what she's doing, but I'm not super sure. But if you see way down here, you see the little guys on the outside, right? And it's the snipper, the ripper, and the stitcher. It's the cutest thing ever. So I picked up 18 count. It's my first 18 count. It is what, the count is what the pattern called for. Because obviously you have finishing things, so it needed to be a certain size. And this is Jade. You guys, my absolute favorite color combination. I'm dying. Dying. I can't wait. This might be, other than the Mardi Gras one, this might be the one that I'm the most excited about. Like, if this one doesn't get called, it's probably going to be the first thing I start after Maynia. So excited. Okay. Next. Get the companion bag, because I think it's fun to show the companion bag. So here's the reverse. Reverse. See how totally different it makes it just with a pop of color? Oh, I love it, you guys. Okay, moving on. Okay. I actually picked this up on my very second. I saw this as a model stitch at my LNS waiting to be framed, because my LNS also does framing. It's like a sister part of their store. And I thought about it and had to go back the next day and purchase it. Until I found out that it's super, super expensive. It is a bigger project, and it's by, y'all help me, Hinzet, little sneak peeky, Hinzet. Each one of these patterns is super pricey because they all come with 6 Swarovski crystals. Now, hold the phone, I'm gonna crinkle for a second. This was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen hanging, and it's also not what I thought would be my style. But if you look back here, see them all in a row? The person who stitched it, that it's hanging at my LNS, had them all in a row, and then there's one more pattern of a Santa sleigh. And they all have their beautiful crystals. Every single reindeer has these 6 beautiful crystals hanging from them. Stunning, you guys. It was, when I tell you I dreamed about, like I was dreaming about it. So I decided that since these were pretty pricey, that I decided I was going to pick up 2. And I wanted to pick up the 2 that would be in the middle of my fabric. I don't know why my brain just stopped working. So I picked up Comet. So here's Comet. Oh my goodness, you guys. So cute. And Vixen, because I love everything that starts with a V. I love the letter V. It is my favorite letter. Look. I mean, they might be the cutest things ever. And they're just so pretty with the crystals. So, let me put these over here. Let me show you the fabric. Again, a first. Are you guys ready? It's my first opalescent. This is 18 count opal Ada. Are y'all ready? Y'all ready for the size of this? I don't think you're ready for this sizing. Oh yeah. I'm so excited. So excited. Can y'all see it sparkle? I don't know if you can see the sparkle. Oh yeah, you can. So amazing. I love it. I love it. And I think that it's actually going to stitch up relatively quickly because, you know, my Letters to Hogwarts is such a heavy, almost full coveragey type of piece. And I have the colors just for the first 2 reindeer. I think these are going to stitch up relatively quickly. And it's going to be great because they're each going to feel like little finishes every time. And I can treat myself to another one when I finish one. I'm excited, you guys. Very, very excited. And I think that's why I liked my Sal's too, because each release, right, feels like a finish. So you just keep cheering yourself on. You're like, oh, you did that. And oh, you did that. I love it. Okay, so that's my reindeer one. All right. So then next, we have this one. And you guys, look how amazing. Look how different the fabrics look with the red and the pink. I love it. Okay, so this one, just like my plantation sampler, this one got given to me. You guys, I didn't think I was into vintagey things, but this is the coolest thing ever. So, I'm a Louisiana baby, true and true. And when I saw this, Papa Al's, Santa Claus, and Adolf, I died, you guys. I died. And it says, ho, ho, ho. I can't, y'all. And to top it off, not only did I get this paper copy, which is amazing, and it was apparently only $3, and it's like the handwritten one, I got this sample, y'all. The sample one. So it's like the paper version before, and I'm not going to show you the pattern, okay? But it's the actual like handwritten pattern. That's so cool. So I have like the OG original sample. I can't deal. It came with 14 count light blue Ada, and it came with a bunch of the DMCs, and I think it's really, really cool. Look at the older DMCs. So I guess these are from the 80s versus Ada's from now. I mean, Ada's from now. DMC's from now. I thought that was really cool. So I am going to stitch with the old ones just because I think it's so fitting and so cool. Well, as well as the newer ones. So this is the color palette. I love it. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. And then my last option, last but not least, y'all. It's in my one that I did first, which I'm pretty impressed by because it's still my first one. It's covered in cat hair. Don't look too closely. But yeah, FYI, I have 3 cats, all black, 2 dogs, full house, 2 kids, and a wife. Yay! Okay, I'm not going to pull up the photo of this one because if you guys are on FlossTube, you've seen this pattern 1,000 times. It's Barbara Anna's The Light. I fell in love. It was a free pattern. How could you say no to that? So, I decided I had to jump on the bandwagon. I picked out, I keep saying Michelle Bendy. Apparently she super influences me, and I didn't realize that. But she is doing it on this beautiful, it looks like goldenrod, yellowy, rusty fabric. And I fell in love with it on that. My LNS didn't have anything close to that. It's quarantine time, so I didn't want to worry about dyeing my own fabric. But when I was describing everything to the ladies at my LNS, they said that they thought that this color would be the best. So I picked up Copper Penny 16 count Ada, and I do not remember, they didn't write the brand, but it's really pretty. It's got light modeling, and I think it's going to be really nice on this. So the only difference that I'm going to make is I picked up, again, another first, you guys, some petite treasure braid, and I've decided that I'm going to stitch the actual light part in the petite treasure braid. And then I told y'all I make things, right? I kept seeing online, what are they called? Floss buddies? Bend it, flip it. I don't know, but I decided I could make that. So I did. To match. It's not perfect. Don't look at it too closely. There are things I'm going to tweak and change. But I love my big bins, right? Because it's all in chronological. Well, yeah, they're in chronological order. Numerical order is what the word I was looking for. And it's easy for me to just grab it. And I like that about this too. So obviously my treasure braid won't fit, so it has a little pocket on the back. I love it. So yeah, I think that these colors, I mean, it's in a green background, but I think you guys can see. I think these are going to look great on this. So yeah, I don't know which one's not going to make it, but it's going to be a fun roulette to figure it out. And I had a question, a reach out to you guys. During all of this craziness in the world right now, I know that some shops are not able to keep up as much. Back in, so April 13th, so a little less than a month ago, I ordered something from Sassy Jacks, and I emailed them to kind of check because it says that my order is on hold. So if you guys kind of know if that's something I should be worried about, should I just let it go? Just let me know. But that is something that I'm trying to figure out. Sorry, I need to stop touching my hair. Trying to figure out is what's going on with that order. Are they just, have too many orders, or what's going on? So if you guys know, help a sister out, let me know. So there is one more thing that I have been kidding up. And I have another shout out. So Coffee Stitcher, it's your fault this time. But he was talking about how he does the stitching book club. And I'm also an avid reader. I actually prefer to listen to Audible when I'm stitching. So when I found out that there was a Sal, which I'm loving Sal's, and a book club all together, I was in. And they were releasing their newest project, which is living in this beautiful bag. Okay, are y'all ready? The book that they're doing is The Secret Garden, you guys. I realized that I don't think I've actually ever read The Secret Garden. Look at this beautiful copy, by the way, with the gilded edges. Stop it. I'm lucky that my Barnes & Noble's, you can place an order and drive by and come get it. Or drive by, that sounds terrible. Curbside? However you say it. I'll learn the lingo. But I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I've actually ever read, and I didn't have this in my library. So I was super, super, super excited when I found that out. And look at this To Die For color palette, you guys. Stop it. Oh no, I have a little clipper. But look at this beautiful color palette. It screams this bag, by the way, but it screams that. Now, the pattern is the release starts on the 24th of this month is actually when the sale begins. And a lot of people were having a hard time because the designer, Stitching Book Club, the fabric that she chose, I guess, was hard to find. I got super, super lucky that my L&S happened to have the exact color. I think it is an older dye lot because they've had it for a while. But it is the exact color, so it's Chocolate Raspberry by Witchell. And I've never had this kind of fabric, the like super stiff. But I'm trying to figure out how true this color will come up for you guys. But the designer clearly said that if you cannot find it, she wanted it to be like a dark wooden color. And I think it's a stunning fabric. But my L&S didn't have the Aida, and you guys know that I prefer Aida, so I did get a 32 count linen. But these holes look, I think I might actually enjoy this stiffer one. Because I want to dip my toe in everything, like I've said, I think I might try hand stitching this one. I don't know. I'll keep you posted, but I'm excited. So that is going to start the 24th. Now, how I'm going to work that in is instead of this one, because this also has reading homework as well, and there's only 3 installments. So this one's going to be on its own timeline. So I'm still going to do my normal spinning, but this one will just be added on top of whatever else I've spun for that week. And believe it or not, you guys, I think that brings me to the end of this extremely long, very first floss tube. If you guys have stuck around, I'm so excited to be here. I absolutely love floss tube. You guys have obviously enabled the bejeebies out of me, and I cannot wait to be a part of you guys' community. So I did want to shout out the floss tubers that I have been watching. I thought it would be really interesting for other fellow floss tubers to see what a newbie floss tuber came across, what I was able to find on the interwebs. If I do not shout you out, and I should be watching you, please let me know down below. And before I do my shout outs, if you don't want to stick around for my shout outs, I did want to know, what do you guys do while you cross stitch? I love Audible. That's what I prefer, and I've recently been super into My Favorite Murder podcast. But what do you guys do? Let me know. And if you don't stick around for the shout outs, bye you guys. I hope you have a fantastic Maynia. But I really quickly wanted to shout out Half Stitch Cross Stitch, Rachel Ray, Joyfilled Stitcher, Teresa Little Stitcher, Stitchin' Mommy, Michelle Bendy Stitchin', Amy, Coffee Stitcher, Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World, Stitch All the Things, Animal Instincts, Rebel Stitcher, Portia Parcher, and Andrea's Cautious Tales. I was like, what? I will have all of their doodly-doos linked if I can, or at least written down there. And until then, I will see you guys later. Bye.